Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra engaged.
And Cardi B pulls out of her tour.
And did Amber Rose reveal who Becky with the good hair really is?
Wow, all that and more on today's Rundown. Happy Friday, you guys. I don't know about you, but I'm so glad this week is over. It has been a whirlwind here on DHR.
Yes.
And we're gonna recap a lot of that on our weekly show that's coming out on Sunday. Don't forget to subscribe also if you're here to our channel.
Click.
But in today's episode, we want to talk to you guys about Demi fans holding a tribute concert for her. It's so, so sweet.
But first, we have to talk about Nick and Priyanka. People confirmed last night that Priyanka and Nick got engaged in London a week ago on her birthday. Talk about the best gift ever. A source reveals that they are so happy, and another source close to Nick tells people that not only is he very, very happy, his friends and family have never seen him like this, and they're all excited for him. He's definitely very serious about her. Now, rumors of Priyanka and Nick being an item really began back in May of 2017 when they walked the red carpet together at the Met Gala. At the time, Priyanka appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live to clear up any rumors of a relationship by saying, "We were both wearing Ralph Lauren and we decided to go together." Fast forward 1 year later, they've been hanging out all the time. Rumors started swirling. They met each other's families, and the rest is history. Now, Nick reportedly shut down a Tiffany store in New York City so he could buy her an engagement ring. And honestly, I have so many feelings. I used to have the biggest crush on Nick Jonas.
Same. I mean, he was way too young for me, but I was like, oh my gosh, he's the cutest Jonas.
The cutest. But I mean, you know, they're happy. They're happy. I was gonna say I'm happy, but I love Nick still.
I know. I think it's just a weird coupling. I think it's a pairing that none of us saw coming. Yeah. It's like the weirdest, like two people from such different worlds coming together. You know, she's more of like, she's a serious actress, although she's a pageant girl and he has a thing for older pageant girls. He dated Olivia Culpo.
Yeah.
But they just seem like they probably like hang out in different circles together. She's friends with the royals.
Yeah, she seems very regal and like, not saying that Nick can't be, but they just seem, but you know what? Opposites attract.
That's true.
Opposites attract.
And I feel like they both take what they do in their career very seriously, so they probably are on the same terms when it comes to being serious about their art.
But Erin, what are your thoughts? Because we've had so many quick engagements.
So many.
And when I say quick, I hate saying quick only because just because you just started dating doesn't mean that you weren't friends before that. However, there is something to be said about friendship versus when you actually start dating. How long was it before Matt proposed? Like, how long were you guys dating
I knew
for?
I wanted to marry him after like the second date.
Yeah.
So if he would have asked me on the third date to marry him, I probably would have said yes. So there's no hate to me on like knowing when you know and getting married. I think it can work. But being in Hollywood adds a whole other layer of pressure. And I just feel like of all of these engagements, one or two of them may not work. Will it be Ariana and Pete? Will it be Justin and Haley? Will it be Nick and Priyanka? I just have a feeling, you guys, that one of these are not gonna actually work.
The answer coming on the December 15th episode of DHR.
And that is not the only engagement news today. We just got wind that Hannah Hart is officially engaged. Yep, Hannah Hart is now engaged after proposing to her longtime girlfriend, BuzzFeed executive producer Ella. And in an exclusive to People, she said, "It is so exciting to share our engagement story. There is just not enough positive queer representation out there of the realities of being in queer relationships. It means all the same things as heterosexual relationships. We cry when we get engaged and fall in love and find people we want to spend the rest of our lives with." The surprise proposal took place in Hawaii, and she seems so happy in these photos. Check out this video that she posted on YouTube.
I have found someone that I want to spend my life with. You guessed it. I asked Ella to marry me and she said yes. We're engaged. We are two engaged people.
She also revealed that they will have a long engagement and that they will get married in 2020, which is enough time to like plan a wedding, pace it out. Planning a wedding is so much work, you guys. It's better not to rush it, you know?
And I like taking time because I feel like during the long engagement, even though you were dating for a while, you still get to know each other even more. I'm a fan of a large wedding, but you have to have money for that.
Well, something tells me that these people have lots of money, unlike maybe you and I.
So Cardi B shared some surprising news that may or may not make you unhappy. I think in the end, we should all be happy about it. So yesterday, Cardi B took to Twitter and Instagram to share some surprising news with fans that she'll no longer be joining Bruno Mars on his 24 Karat Magic Tour. Now, for fans that had already bought tickets with hopes of seeing Cardi, this was obviously very disappointing, but not gonna lie, she has a really good reason for backing out. She said, quote, "As of today, I've decided I won't be joining Bruno on tour this fall. I thought that after giving birth to my daughter that 6 weeks would be enough time for me to recover mentally and physically. I also thought that I'd be able to bring her with me on tour, but I think I underestimated this whole mommy thing." Cardi also mentioned that her doctors advised her to not bring little baby culture on tour because she's still so young and it's not healthy for her to be spending so much time on the road. And while this definitely isn't the news fans wanted to hear, it's still most important to do what's best for the baby and for their entire family. Bruno tweeted, "Most important thing is you and your family's health. I know the fans will understand. You are absolutely doing the right thing. I also know we'll share the stage when the time is right." He also revealed, Aaron, that he'll be playing Bodak Yellow at every stop on the tour, so I think that's very sweet.
That is very sweet. I don't know about you guys, but 6 weeks is not enough time for me to recover from a vacation.
No.
Much less having a baby. This is not surprising to me. I'm actually really glad that she's putting herself, her health, her baby first. I know that she was really hitting it hard, like her whole pregnancy. I mean, she was like twerking on stage at Coachella just a couple of months ago. I mean, I was a little worried about her because she was working so much and so hard, which, you know, I kind of liked it at the same time because I think pregnant women can do whatever they want, just like non-pregnant women. But I think after your body goes through the process of having a baby, you have a new human being to take care of. There is just so much added stress and layers of emotional responsibility that you just couldn't have foreseen. So I am so glad that she is taking a break. I hope she's getting manicures and pedicures and facials. So this week has been quite the emotional roller coaster for us here at Clevver. Obviously, Demi Lovato overdosed and had a life scare earlier this week, and she had to cancel a bunch of her shows, unfortunately. But fortunately, she is getting the medical help that she needs right now, which I'm so happy about. But her fans, instead of being upset that Demi had to cancel her concerts, they're really showing out and supporting her at a tribute concert. So Demi was originally set to perform in Atlantic City this weekend, and in place of the canceled show, fans actually showed up for a free tribute concert to show their support last night. Cheat Codes, the group that collaborated with Demi on the hit No Promises, took over the headlining spot for the show at the very last minute. Demi's friend and Cheat Codes DJ Matthew Russell said of the group's decision to do the tribute gig, saying, "At the end of the day, anything for Demi. She had to cancel last minute and we were gonna be on the East Coast anyway." One fan who attended the show explained, "A lot of us traveled a long way to come see her, and even though unfortunately she can't be here, we still want to support one another." As we continue to get more details about the day Demi was rushed to the hospital, including the 911 call itself, a source revealed to TMZ that, quote, "she could have died." Currently, Demi is still hospitalized and we're wishing her all the best. I think this is really sweet. I'm sure this probably did a lot for Demi's spirits because I know she heard about this, obviously. So I think this is the support that her fans need to be giving her during this time. Gosh, what a crazy situation. I just never saw this coming. I know we've talked about this a lot this week, but Demi has been through rehab. She's come out on the other side. She's written songs about being strong and overcoming. And I just didn't see this happening. Although it makes sense, a lot of people do relapse and that's very typical, but you know, it just goes to show what people put in the world isn't always what is actually going on behind the scenes.
You know, you talked about the pressures of being a celebrity, and I think there's even more pressure when you're a celebrity who is so vocal and open about those addictions, and you've gone through rehab and all those different things. And so when you have those moments where you do relapse and you want to be able to be open about that, I can't imagine like the pressure of feeling like you've let your fans down, your friends down, your family down, like everybody down because everybody's rooting for you, but at the same time you're now the face of, oh, look what you can do, like you can make it too. And so,
rehabilitation.
Yeah, and there's so much pressure that goes along with that. So I think if anything, I just want Demi to take as much time off as possible. Like there is no rush to come back at all. For people who are fans of Demi, it is obviously very sad because she makes incredible music, but most importantly, obviously, especially seeing that TMZ said the source it said it was firsthand, said that she could have died, like it was life or death. Like if they didn't make the 911 call when they did, like it could have gone south.
Yeah.
And I think we all had that emotion where we think about some of our favorite singers who have overdosed, and to think that that could have been Demi is just kind of heartbreaking.
So crazy. Hopefully next week we'll have some maybe more positive, exciting Demi news. That
Yes.
she's feeling a lot better and she's recovering.
Yes. Okay, so in other news, a little lighter note, Amber Rose is back in the headlines, but this time it's because she brought up Becky with the good hair. If you don't know what that is, a couple
Who
of years
are
ago,
you?
right? Back in, I think, like 2016, Beyonce dropped the Surprise Lemonade visual album, which gave me my whole life. And during that, you're watching it and you're like, oh, there's this one part where she says, better call Becky with the good hair, obviously alluding to the fact that Jay-Z cheated on her, which, by the way, how do you cheat on Beyonce? But hey, I get it. It happens. Regardless, they've gone through this whole thing. They've made up, but we all have always wondered, who is Becky with the good hair? Well, Amber Rose went on Spencer and Heidi's podcast. You don't know Spencer and Heidi, they were on the Hills back in the day. They have a podcast called Make Spidey Famous Again. On the podcast, she said that she thinks Gwyneth Paltrow is Becky with the good hair. And this is such a strong accusation because literally Becky with the good hair was one of the biggest topics of conversation way before Who Bit Beyonce. Like it was Becky with the good hair. Like who did Jay-Z cheat on Beyonce with? Or cheat with?
On Beyonce with. No, I think
Is that
that's
right?
I think that's right.
Moving on. Okay, so she said they were like friends, and then like you don't see Gwyneth Paltrow with Beyonce anymore. Basically saying because Gwyneth Paltrow, Beyonce, and Jay used to always see them together, and then after this, you just didn't really see them together at all. And it is still obviously on everybody's mind because so many major outlets were talking about this yesterday to the point where Gwyneth Paltrow's rep had to release a statement saying that that's completely absurd and 100% false. And then so many outlets were still reporting on this that Amber Rose had to then tweet, and she said, bruh, we were joking on a podcast. Laugh out loud, stop with the clickbait. I have no information about anyone's personal life. F out of here.
Yes, I'm so glad that Amber Rose came to Twitter to clear the air. Because in my head, I'm thinking like, I love Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
Like she's great. She's built an empire. But like Beyonce, like
Yeah.
I'm trying not to say anything mean. You know what I mean?
I think it is sad.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
We're here.
I just don't see it. I also think that Beyonce and Jay-Z have been busy over the last couple of years rebuilding their marriage, being parents to twins. And Gwyneth Paltrow, again, she's like dating and just got married and all, like their lives just aren't syncing up right now. That's why they're not hanging out. I just don't think when people stop hanging out that there was drama or tea or cheating. I just think sometimes people's lives get too busy to hang out.
Right.
Okay, guys, there have been so many celebrity engagements now that Nick and Priyanka are together and Hannah and Ella are together. What do you think about all of these engagements? Do you think they're gonna last? Do you think it's a trend? Like, it's just so much for me to handle.
I totally think it's a trend, but that's just me. But let us know also who you think Becky with the good hair is. I know this is a question that's over 2.5 years old now. However, it's back again. So who is Becky with the good hair? Let us know in the comment section below. And of course, make sure you tune back in on Sunday for weekly DHR.
Spoiler alert, Becky with the good hair is not a meal.
What?
All right, guys, you have to click right here to weigh in on whether you think that PewDiePie shaded Demi on Twitter. That was yesterday.
Yes, and after that, make sure you click right down here to subscribe.
Yeah.
Go ahead and click it. I'll wait.
Will we? How long?
Until like now.